To our live Facebook Live today, and today we are actually we have a special guest. Stacie Nico is joining us, and I'm Dr. Maggie Yu, and we have our program Healing Autoimmune Disease Naturally, and we have here today Stacie Nico, and I just wanted to do a quick intro of myself. Is that I've been a practicing MD physician for the last 23 years of my career. The first 10 years of it as a family physician until I came down with an autoimmune disease myself. And then having conquered that, I've spent the last 12 years of my career working specifically with patients with autoimmune disease. So that's a huge love, passion for me. And our program is all about how to heal autoimmune disease naturally. Today, we have an awesome topic, which everyone wants to hear about. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about, wait, in 1 second, right now, homework, all of you who are watching, please tell me where you're watching from so we know exactly the demographics of the people we're talking to, number one. Number two, if you guys are a graduate in our program, please state in the comment section that you're a graduate of our program. I'd love to hear some of your feedback while we're talking with Stacie so people know that, so could hear from all of you. That would be great. Number three, if anyone you know can benefit from a video, Facebook Live today, from hearing about how to effortlessly lose close to 20 pounds, go ahead and share this video now by putting their name in the comments section right now, and they can always watch it later. But at least they know we're live right now. So go ahead and share that video. Put a share underneath by posting their name underneath, or you could share it to your own personal page or to any Facebook group that you think anyone with autoimmune disease would benefit from. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about weight. Okay, and I'm here, and I actually, Stacie recently just graduated from our program. I'm going to have her introduce herself first, and then we're going to start diving right in, okay? With that being said, please give her a thumbs up, give her a heart, give her a wow face. She's a very private, shy person, so this is a lot for Stacie to be joining us. So, Stacie, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to our audience right now and tell everyone about you.
Hi, my name is Stacie, and I'm actually from Canada. I think most of you are from the States. So, and I was first diagnosed with autoimmune disease when I was 18. It was hypothyroidism. And I was put on low dose Synthroid at the time, which I've been on ever since, till now. And then after my diagnosis, I dealt with eczema that I've had since I was 18. Right. I've had food intolerances that have crept up that I didn't have before. I had fatigue. And then after I had my second son, I was diagnosed after about 1.5 years after having symptoms with fibromyalgia. And then things started like going downhill. And when I saw your program, Maggie, at the time, is when I could hear myself talking. At the time, I was having a lot of pain. I was getting more flare-ups with the fibromyalgia. Yep. So it's not just muscle tightness, though. I was starting to get lots of joint pain in my feet, in my hands. So when I would wake up in the morning, I'd get out of bed and I would stumble from the pain. It was so bad, and it would take a while till I was able to walk.
I remember when you were in week 1 of the program, how much pain you were in. Yeah, I mean, that was your biggest pain. I remember was pain, literally. Yeah. That was the problem you wanted to solve.
Yes.
Right.
And I found it was always worse just before I would get my period for some reason. The doctor was always like, I don't know why. I don't know why. It makes no sense. There's no connection.
It totally makes sense.
Right. And I was starting to get anxiety too, because I was feeling all this flare up, and I just felt I was declining a lot. I was extremely fatigued. So those were the major symptoms at the time. And since I had my child, I had put weight on that I could not get off.
So this is a very interesting part of your story, which is like a lot of people don't realize that it's these big times of hormonal change after the birth of a child, or during certain times in the period, monthly cycle for women, or during times of perimenopause for women. It's a really big vulnerable time for women because of the big hormone change in that period of time. And that actually triggers the autoimmune attack like crazy. So that's the most common time women are actually diagnosed with new diagnoses of autoimmune disease, or they have worsening of their symptoms. So that's a huge pattern that a lot of doctors actually miss. right? And that was a huge pattern for you because this whole fibro thing really started after the birth of your son, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then symptoms were worse monthly also depending on where you were in the cycle.
That's right. And the past year, like this past winter was the worst because cold is a big trigger for me with the fibromyalgia. And it was just an unbearable winter. And I just felt like I wasn't catching a break. It was constantly just getting worse. So when I came across your program, I was like, okay, wait, she's talking about food intolerances. I deal with that. She's talking about hormones. Yeah, that's an issue for me. What else? There's leaky gut. That's an issue for me.
So you thought, okay, I have these couple of issues and she's speaking my language. I'm going to try this.
Right.
Now, here's the thing is what we're talking about today is how you effortlessly lost all this weight. And that's what everyone wants to know is that, were you even coming into this program with the goal of trying to lose weight?
No, I just wanted to feel normal and have energy and not be in pain. That was the main reason. So
that wasn't even an outcome you were seeking.
No.
Okay. So how much, do you mind me asking how much weight have you lost through this program?
So far 18 pounds. Yep. And that's huge for me. I mean, I did do Weight Watchers at one point. The most I could lose was 10 pounds and I was diligent with it. And then it would just stick on the scale. So this for me is like amazing. And at this age too, when menopause is lurking its head around the corner, I'm pretty happy.
So weight loss was not an intended consequence. So everyone wants to know what was the secret weapon? What was it that helped you lose close to 20 pounds effortlessly, you call it?
Right. So when I started the program, the first step was getting off the gluten. And for me, that started the weight loss. I started losing weight with that. I think within a month, I had lost almost 10 pounds. And then I had started implementing, I hadn't reached the section yet for the blood sugar balancing, but I was listening to what other people were already at that stage. So I started implementing at that point anyway, that into the
blood sugar. So what I'm hearing is blood sugar was a huge second step that you did.
Yes. And that for me was really, it appealed to me in your program because I'd never heard anybody talking about that before. So, and it made perfect sense. Like I would have these crazy sugar cravings and all the, I'd wake up exhausted in the morning and I wasn't feeling that way anymore after I was doing all of this.
Well, here's the thing is a lot of people think blood sugar is just about whether you're a diabetic or not. And doctors think this. So if you do a test for hemoglobin A1C, you're not a diabetic. Okay, you don't have a blood sugar problem. But one of the major linchpins that we talk about is that it's not just high blood sugar. It's actually low blood sugar. Every high blood sugar is followed by low blood sugar. But it's this up and down of blood sugar throughout the day that kills your hormone balance. Yeah. And so for me, that blood sugar thing is not a small issue. It's actually a major issue in weight. And it's not just about eating. It's not just about dealing with high blood sugar. I mean, how much of this was about dealing with low blood sugar for you and just balancing sugar throughout the day with these cravings?
For sure. Because I mean, my mornings were always crazy, running with the kids, getting them to school, getting their lunches. I wouldn't eat sometimes till 11:30. So, of course, your blood sugar is going to crash, right?
And how did you feel?
Awful.
Right? But you didn't know there was a cause for it. Did you even have a clue that it was related with blood sugar?
No.
I know.
So,
and that was huge, right?
Yeah.
So immediately you implemented some steps for blood sugar and you started to notice that you felt better.
Oh yeah. My energy was, I think, when you go for so long without being depleted of energy and suddenly you have even just a little bit, you're like, I could do everything. I was like going off field trips with the kids. I'm working, running around, rearranging the house. I had so much energy that I just ran with it. And that's continued. So it's great.
So I'm going to ask the alumni that are here that are watching this right now. For those of you who are understanding that blood sugar was an important thing for you, can you guys post in the comments section what the results of mastering blood sugar has been for you? What outcomes have you been able to get just by that's only one pillar of our program. When you've mastered that, what outcomes have you gotten? Just to hear from other graduates and their outcomes. So what you noticed immediately was more energy. You felt better. You felt like doing a lot more with your kids and you were just, So energy. Now,
Yeah.
so blood sugar was a big factor in this, but
Yeah.
and we're going back to weight. What do you think was the other linchpin or other linchpins that you have in dealing with this weight?
For sure the hormones, because
Yeah.
when I got my results, so I got my hormone results before I got the food intolerance. So both of those were key as well for me.
Yeah.
But the hormones, like I had no clue I was estrogen dominant. And
Yes.
talking about the
That's
connection.
one of the patterns that women with autoimmune disease can get into. Men can get in different patterns as well, but that's one of the patterns. Right.
Mm-hmm. So that was huge for me. So right away I got the supplements you had recommended for that, and that has helped tremendously. Mm-hmm. Like even before I get my period, just the symptoms I would have are not there anymore.
Body aches.
Yes, backaches, like the joint pain, that's all gone. I don't have that anymore. So.
Right. Yeah. So what you're saying was hormone balance is the second major thing and in weight loss. And but what you noticed right away was that PMS period stuff was way better. Pain associated with periods was way better. And then on top of that, you said it was helpful. You think it's a major linchpin in weight loss?
I think so, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
So why do you think that?
I think because it was giving me the carb and sugar cravings that I would go crazy and just want to eat all the time. And my cortisol also was like, it was high in the morning and then would drop down. So of course that would have an impact as well.
So you started to understand the role of blood sugar, hormones, the ovarian hormones, the adrenals and thyroid and how they all link together is what I'm hearing.
And the thyroid, so I switched to natural desiccated thyroid as well through the program. Mm-hmm. And right away, you know this, I used to be able to see the outline of my thyroid.
I saw you, goiter. I saw you, goiter. I'm like, Stacie, there's your goiter.
Yeah. So it's gone. I don't have that anymore. And
I know. Do you know people think thyroid nodules, goiters and stuff are irreversible and that it's accepted, that they're just going to slowly turn into cancer and there's nothing you can do about it? What do you say to that?
Heck no.
Hell no. And we saw your goiter shrink.
Well, my GP had even said, because I had an ultrasound, which saw I had 2 little nodules. He said, oh, everybody has nodules. It's normal to have nodules. Okay.
And what did you learn?
It's not. I shouldn't have nodules. Yeah.
People have thyroid nodules or goiters because there's an autoimmune attack attacking their thyroid.
Right.
This is not normal. And in fact, they're at high risk of over time because they're constantly under attack of turning into thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
Why would we tell people that they're normal? Because they don't know what to do with them.
Right.
Right? Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, right? Okay. So when did you actually start experiencing the weight loss? Once you've addressed the blood sugar, the hormones, when did you actually really start to see the weight come off?
Well, that I would say 3 weeks in, I was losing weight, but 1 month in, I had lost about almost 10 pounds. And then it just gradually, it kind of stalled a little bit at one point. And then I was focusing a lot on the blood sugar balancing.
Yeah.
And of course, introducing the food mapping results as well. And, avoiding other foods too. I'm sure that had an impact as well.
Well, so let me get this. So you're saying that you lost a bunch of weight in the very beginning, and then it wasn't until you got the food mapping that all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, there's another layer of how I'm going to lose weight. Right. Why do you think food mapping to find out which foods are triggering your autoimmune attack actually helps? How did it help with weight loss?
Well, because I had leaky gut because of it. Mm-hmm. So my body was not absorbing nutrients properly. I mean, I was vitamin D deficient. I was B12 deficient. My ferritin was low. I seemed everything that we would cover. I felt like oh my gosh, I have all of these things. And the food intolerance was really interesting because it pointed to things that I was eating almost on a daily basis in my diet. Like eggs were big. Dairy and even goat dairy was big. What else? It even showed chicken and turkey, which I was eating quite a bit of, but I've introduced that back in now and I'm fine. So yeah.
So what you're saying was that you actually found out there were things that you didn't expect in your food that you were eating that was triggering the autoimmune attack. affecting your hormones and your thyroid, and that it was like a hidden cause of causing you to keep the weight on.
Yeah.
And prior to this program, I mean, did you believe that it was calories in and calories out? Did it work for you? Is that what you were doing?
Yes, and it wasn't working for me.
Right. And what you learned was it's not calories in and calories out, because one, blood sugar was huge.
Yes.
Gluten was huge, right? Hormones balancing was huge. And then number 3 now, food mapping was huge.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you did all those things not because of weight. You did those things for all these other symptoms.
Yeah.
So, and in the process of doing that, you effortlessly lost the weight because all these pieces came together.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to hear is, what else got better while you were effortlessly losing weight? What are the current outcomes? I mean, you graduated our program about what, 2 months ago? So
yes.
People want to know, is it sustainable? And what are you still feeling at 2 months mark after the program?
Yeah. Well, one key thing, and this is something that I had when I first had my fibromyalgia flare up, the big one, after I had my son, I developed a lot of anxiety. So I ended up going on like anxiety medication. So now that it was flaring up again this past year, I felt like I needed to go back on the anxiety medication, which I did. I'm off of it now. So I don't need
anxiety.
No anxiety. So that's a huge one for me too.
Well, here's the other thing. What is our treatment for anxiety? What is the conventional medical treatment for anxiety? Anti-anxiety medications, antidepressants. What do they do? What's the number one side effect of them?
Weight gain.
Weight gain.
Yeah.
So the Band-Aid, you have all these symptoms with the autoimmune disease, and yet what happens is then the Band-Aids that we actually give to the autoimmune disease causes other symptoms and targets to be worse, like weight. Right. So what you found is that now the anxiety is gone. You don't even need that Band-Aid anymore. Okay, so no anxiety. What else?
Anxiety. Brain fog's gone. So I used to wake up like complete brain fog and just felt like I had not slept at all. Like I was depleted of energy in the morning, which, and the brain fog would last through the day. And I don't have that anymore. I'm able to have a conversation with you. I wouldn't have been able to do this interview with you back then.
Well, and I'm going to ask people, how many of you have brain fog? I mean, if you have brain fog, say me too. And those of you who've been through our program, how many of you started with brain fog? And where's your brain fog now? And how much do you think that was because of and tell people why you think your brain fog is gone. So for me, I love it. When someone tells me they have brain fog, I'm like, okay, that's going to be gone in a couple of weeks. And it's hard to believe. Like when you first started the program, and I'm sure I said it to you, which is like, you're like, I'm full of brain fog. I'm like, well, that'll be different in a couple of weeks. Did you even believe that was possible?
No, because I've lived how many years with this? Yeah. No, I mean, I would like be with a friend and run into someone I knew. I forget their name to introduce them. And I've known them forever. That's how bad the brain fog was.
Yeah.
So
I have a question for you. You said, how do people respond to you now that you're 2 months out of the program? And you said, when you have lunch with a friend now, or someone you haven't seen in a couple months, what kind of feedback are you getting on people just externally looking at you and interacting with you?
So yeah, I had a dinner with a friend. We actually did a paint night a couple of weeks ago, and we were sitting down painting. And she's pre-diabetic, so she's on trying to lose weight and get healthy. And so we were talking, and she's like, I just look at your face and I could see the weight loss just in your face. And I see too when I look in the mirror. I'm like, the tan helps too a little bit, but
a lot of us who were in the program with you, I'm interested in any alumni that were through the program with you, because this is all live video that we actually do our program with. And I would ask them, I don't think it's actually difficult to recognize you. You look absolutely different.
Oh, thank you. I feel different. So
we saw during the program your goiter actually shrink, and you saw it. And it's nice 2 months from now, you can actually still see your neck's back.
And look, I haven't been able to wear my wedding band since I had the kids. I'm wearing it, and it comes easily on and off now. So yeah, it's on the wrong hand. It should be on this one, but I'm working on it fitting on this one.
That's interesting. It's like it's an outcome people don't even think about, but that they even want. And Patricia in our program just mentioned it on a call the other day, was that she showed us for the first time in, like, I don't know how long. Patricia, if you're watching, you can let people know, but it was so long since she's been able to wear it that it was just absolutely shocking to her and pleasantly surprised.
Sad that you can't wear your wedding ring, you know, like, so yeah. So there's that. And
I remember a really tender share that you did.
Oh, are you going to embarrass me?
I remember on one of the calls you talked about, I think it was, were you dinner with your husband?
Oh,
you had said something. Am I getting the story a little bit wrong? Where you had said, I think you had actually, you enjoy having people over, and you hadn't done that in so long. Do you want to tell us that interaction?
So, because I was so exhausted, like I'm a very social person. I am shy, but I'm also very social, and I would avoid having friends over, or even going out, because I'd feel so tired. I didn't have the energy to do that. Mm-hmm. And so that changed during the program, like, you know.
And I remember you said at the end of like a particular thing where you were cooking for all your friends and they had left, I think you were sitting across the table from your husband.
Yeah.
And he said something. Remember?
I'm trying to remember. I remember.
I think he said, I think I got my wife back.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was saying that throughout the program, but that was the first time he mentioned that. For sure. And I feel like I got myself back, honestly. Like, even looking in the mirror now, like I'm seeing the old me, and I don't know what to tell you. It's just, I have the energy. I'm not in pain. Like, I felt like my body was out of my control. That's how I felt. Like, I felt like it was being assaulted.
We call that random acts of health violence.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And I don't feel that way. Yeah.
Well, because now you know cause and effect. So that's a quote that I say over and over again. These are not random acts of health violence happening to your body. There is a cause, there is an effect. You just don't know what they are yet.
Yeah.
How powerful is it now that you do?
I feel I'm in control. I know what to do. I know the steps. I know the triggers. So yeah. I mean, if I choose to eat gluten, I know what the outcome will be. I'm not going to. Yeah, that's right.
Right. And so what I'm going to say is, for those of you who don't know, haven't watched our online training about healing autoimmune disease naturally, go to healingautoimmunediseasenaturally.com and watch our free training, and really talking about the major paradigm shifts that Stacie went through that actually allowed her to actually play full out and get these outcomes. I mean, I think had I asked you 4 months ago before you joined this program, you would be here today with these outcomes of no anxiety, way less pain or no pain, energy through the roof, lost close to 20 pounds.
No,
would you have thought it was and wearing your wedding ring and having your husband say that, babe, I got you back. I got my wife back.
Yeah.
Like, would you have ever thought that was possible 4 months ago?
I would have hoped it would be, but the reality of it and feeling it and experiencing it is out of this world. So thank you, Maggie and Frankie.
And those of you who've worked with Frankie, like Stacie, if you can talk in the post some of your comments about what that experience is like, having the support of a functional nutritionist supporting you through this program, because it's not calories in and calories out.
And the support of everyone else you're in the group with, because hearing what their experience is and hearing their questions that they're asking, you learn so much. It's amazing. Like, there's questions I'll ask that I never would have thought to ask them, but they would apply to me. So I'd be jotting like crazy.
So the interesting thing is, a lot of people, there's like a big myth out there that group coaching doesn't work or works less. And that's what we are. We're an educational online group coaching program. Yeah. What you're saying is a huge part of your outcome is because you were in group coaching.
Yeah.
That completely bolts conventional wisdom, just so you know. You're like shocking a lot of people right now and debunking a huge myth in their head.
No, and it's even that emotional support, because they've experienced the same thing. Even if you might not have the same autoimmune disease, your experience is very similar.
The patterns are the same.
They are the same. So, and you see that and you're like, you feel less alone. You feel people are getting you. They're listening to you.
And the cool thing is you keep seeing their outcome. Like we would be troubleshooting blood sugar with you, or we'd be troubleshooting thyroid with you. And then next week, everyone sees your goiter is shrinking.
Right.
These are like real outcomes, real people, real time that everyone's watching.
Right.
How powerful and motivating is that when you actually see real outcomes in real time with real people you're going through the program with?
Absolutely.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want you to give Stacie big hearts, big wow face, big thumbs up, share this video. If you guys found this helpful, share it right away. Put the names of people that you want to share this with below. And I'm really thankful for the number of alumni that are watching this right now, graduates who've been through our program, just talking about what their experiences has been. And Frankie's moderating our call. Thank you, Frankie, for moderating our call. And those of you who've worked with her, please give Frankie some love in the comment section. Stacie, thank you for coming on and being so honest and being so generous with sharing your experience and sharing with everyone how you effortlessly lost this weight.
Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, you guys. Have a great day, everyone.